Can 10,000 ants lift a human? Have you ever looked at a tiny ant carrying food bigger than its own body and thought, wait, if this thing is this strong, what happens if 10,000 ants come together? Could they lift a rat? Could they lift a dog? Could they lift a human? It sounds stupid, but ants are not normal. Some ants can carry around 10 to 50 times their own body weight. That means if a human had ant-level strength, a normal person could lift a small car and still walk around like, bro, where should I park this? So now the question becomes serious. Can 10,000 ants lift a human? The answer is no, not even close. And honestly, that's embarrassing for them, because 10,000 sounds like an army. But when each soldier is basically a walking sesame seed, the math becomes painful. A tiny worker ant may weigh around 5 milligrams. If one ant carries 10 times its weight, that is around 50 milligrams. So 10,000 ants together may carry around half a kilogram. That's not a human. That's not even a laptop. That's like one small water bottle acting like it's the final boss. Now let's be generous. Let's say these ants are gym freaks. Protein powder ants, creatine ants. No excuses, no sugar, only discipline. If each ant carries 50 times its weight, then 10,000 ants may lift around 2.5 kilograms. That is better. Maybe a chicken. Maybe a small cat. Maybe your emotional baggage from one bad relationship. But a human? No chance. A normal adult human weighs around 70 kilograms. So to match that weight, you may need around 280,000 ants if every ant is extremely strong. And if they are normal hardworking ants, you may need more than 1 million ants. But even then, there is a problem. A human is not a perfect box. A human is soft, uneven, moving, breathing, sweating, and probably screaming. Ants cannot just stand under you like factory workers and say, "Okay, boys, lift on 3. Half of them would be in the wrong place. Some would get crushed. Some would be carrying nothing. And one ant would definitely be like, "Guys, I think I found sugar." So, no, 10,000 ants cannot lift a human. But here is the twist. Lifting humans is actually one of the least impressive things ants could try to do. Because ants don't become scary by lifting one big thing. They become scary by acting like one living machine. One ant is tiny. 10 ants are annoying. 10,000 ants are a situation. And 1 million ants? That is not insects anymore. That is a walking problem. For example, fire ants can survive floods by doing something insane. They grab each other with their legs and bodies and turn themselves into a floating raft. Not a boat they built. They become the boat. Imagine a flood coming toward humans. And instead of calling rescue teams, everyone just grabs each other and says, "Relax, guys, we are the Titanic now." That is what fire ants do. The ants on the bottom hold the structure. The ants on top stay safe. The queen and young ants are protected. And the whole colony floats away like a living island. That is not just strength. That is engineering with trauma. And then there are army ants. Army ants don't just walk around politely looking for crumbs. They raid. They move like a living carpet. And when they reach a gap in the road, they don't stop. They don't say, "Oh no, no bridge." They become the bridge. Some ants lock their bodies together across the gap, and the rest of the colony walks over them. Imagine being born as an ant, and your career goal becomes floor. That is commitment. And the crazy part? No one is giving orders. There is no manager ant with a tiny laptop saying, "Team, our Q3 bridge performance is below expectations." They just follow simple signals: smell, touch, movement, chemical trails. One ant finds food. It leaves a trail. Another follows, then another, then another. Suddenly, the whole colony is moving like it downloaded Google Maps into its nose. And this is where ants become scary, because one ant may not be smart, but the colony behaves smart. One ant may not know the whole plan, but together they solve problems. They build, they attack, they escape floods, they protect the queen, they find food, they create roads, they even farm. Some ants literally farm fungus underground. Humans took thousands of years to invent agriculture. Ants were already underground like, "Yeah, bro, we grow our own food here." And then comes one of the most shocking facts. Argentine ants formed a supercolony in Europe, stretching around 6,000 kilometers. 6,000 kilometers. That is not a colony. That is an empire. That is like ants looked at Europe and said, "Nice place. We'll take the whole thing. And the ants from different nests inside that supercolony don't fight like normal rival colonies. They cooperate. Billions of ants acting like one giant family. Meanwhile, humans fight in WhatsApp groups over who forgot to bring snacks. So now, the original question feels small. Can 10,000 ants lift a human? No. But can ants turn themselves into boats? Yes. Can ants turn themselves into bridges? Yes. Can ants farm food underground? Yes. Can ants create an empire thousands of kilometers wide? Yes. Can millions of ants move like one giant creature? Absolutely. So maybe the scariest thing about ants is not their muscles, it is their teamwork. Because one ant is almost nothing. You can blow it away, you can step on it, you can ignore it. But when thousands of ants arrive together, suddenly, size does not matter. Your brain stops doing science. It just says, leave the room. And that is the real power of ants. They don't need to lift a human to defeat a human. They just need to arrive together. One ant is weak. 10 ants are annoying. 10,000 ants are a warning. And millions of ants are nature's way of saying small things become terrifying when they stop acting alone. So, guys, first of all, thank you for watching till the end. Seriously, you survived an entire video about ants. So I respect that. If you like weird questions, crazy facts, and videos made with real passion, subscribe. I'll keep exploring more strange things like this.